Good morning. Welcome, everyone. Hi, Mandy. Hey, Carolyn. There's my bestie, Becky. I see you. We hope y'all had a Merry Christmas. We're so excited to be here with you guys today. It was really, really important to us that we were just super intentional with this space that we have between Christmas and the New Year. In fact, it was so funny. I was on social media this morning and I actually saw my cousin who lives in Michigan. She posted this graphic of, this is your time to absolutely do nothing between Christmas and the New Year. Like just lay on your couch, do nothing, be unproductive, recover from the holidays. And I thought, well, that's a totally different mindset than I have because I am here to just reflect and be really, really intentional with this time. And I'm really proud of you for being here because that shows me that you are too. And so if we haven't met before, my name is Melissa Eichenhorst, and I am going to be one of two parts leading you through the Dream Life Visualization Journal alongside of my friend Rebecca Folks. And if you guys don't follow us over on Instagram, I hope that you guys will follow the Ambition Coalition. We love when you guys tag us in things. So if you take a picture while you're journaling today, or if you have your journal and you want to tag us over there and show your network that you're being intentional, that you're dreaming into the new year, hopefully it will inspire someone that you know and love to do the same. And then I wanted to let you guys know about our podcast as well. We drop new episodes every Tuesday. This last week's podcast was all about the root of objections. And next week's podcast on Tuesday, this coming Tuesday, is how 2020 quadrupled my business and then almost killed it. So that's going to be a really fun, exciting podcast to listen to. So let's dive in together today. Like I said, we wanted to be really, really intentional with this time. We want to help you create a powerful vision for 2026. We want to do it alongside of you. And so our vision for this masterclass is super, super simple. We just wanted to create a space where you can dream freely, where you can really reflect deeply, and where you can feel inspired alongside of other ambitious women. Look around the room, you guys. We're in a really, really great room here today. But I know that you guys are passionate about growth. I know that you're chasing your goals unapologetically. I know that you believe in the power of dreaming big. And when you allow yourself to do that, something really incredible happens. But here's what I need you guys to know. It doesn't happen on accident. It happens with intentionality. It happens with purpose. So this is more than a workshop. It really is a collective energy and a community and a safe space to align your goals with your values and get really intentional about the life that you're building so that we can step into what's next. So we have a challenge for you today. You're gonna get the most out of today if you have your camera on, if you're ready to participate, if you have hopefully you have your journal printed, you have your pen or pencil in hand, and you are ready to really lock in and do the work alongside of us. So we're so happy that you're here.
Yes, we are so excited. We've been looking forward to this day. We loved it so much last year. We actually started talking about it in the end of last year, and it was going to be something we were just going to do for our teams. And then we ended up talking about it on the podcast and then kind of rolling it out to whoever wanted to come. And we honestly, when I did mine last year and we did some of the activities that we're going to guide y'all through today, I used these over and over and over again all year. And I think sometimes my personality might be a little, I can get a little skeptical of different things. And when I first even saw this or we started talking about it, I was like, are people really going to do that? Is that really going to impact people? And I'm someone that loves journaling and planning and all the things. And I'm telling you, dive into this, like the intentionality and the specificity that comes to like personalizing something for you, for your dreams, for your vision. It can really impact how you show up, not just in your business, but in your life. And one thing that I know Melissa talks about a lot when she talks about just high performance, is how high performers don't just want to see success and excellence in one area of their life. We want to see that in multiple areas. And I think that's even more true for women, that we are less, we compartmentalize a little bit less and we see things more holistically. And so what my kind of hope and prayer for you is that when you start to look at these individual areas of your life, you see how maybe if you think there's something that's going on with your parenting or your marriage, you see maybe where it's because of a lack of intentionality with the way that your routines are going or your spiritual life's going or whatever that is, and just how they interact. And you might think there might be something going on over here and you're going, oh, actually the root is over here. Just like we talk about with our bodies, and we're one big living organism and system, and how different things impact different things. That is so true with the things that we're talking about today. And so this can be such a gift. I would encourage you, just for someone that I studied a lot. I was an English major, and one thing we would do, especially in creative writing, is we would talk about how whenever you're doing any kind of creative writing, especially like if you get into journaling and that kind of thing, your brain wants to operate in two different ways. One side of it is wanting to be creative, and you can get into that flow and things like that. And then there's this other side of your brain that kicks on that wants to edit and critique and change things. And so for today, I would encourage you, stick on that side of your brain that just wants to write and to journal. And that's one of the beautiful things when you do start journaling, that if you just let yourself flow without continuing to look back and read what you've written at first, then when you go back, you see kind of what came out of you, and then you can start to edit and to process. And we're going to show you some cool ways to start to organize those thoughts and make those into a plan and a vision for 2026. So we're just so excited about today, so excited about how y'all are going to lean in and what you're going to lead with as you go into 2026.
Okay, so now that we've set the stage, we're going to dive into our first activity together. Like Rebecca said, this is all about reflection, taking a moment. What we want to do is we want to check in with where we are in each of the key areas of our lives. And so this step is so important, because before we can create a vision for where we're going, we have to be really honest with ourselves about where we are right now. So we're going to take a holistic view of our life right now. And the key here is that authenticity. And I love the way that you put that, Rebecca. It's like we're tapping into that side of our brain that is just letting things flow. So really, where are you truly? Not where do you wish you were right now, or what do you think you should say? We're not turning this in. No one is going to see this. Be authentic and true. So here's how this is going to work. Your journal has 7 categories. It has your business, money and finances, leisure and fun, spirituality and personal development, family and friends, love life, and health. And so we're going to be focusing on the first question from each of the 7 sections in your workbook. So it's that big box across the top that starts out with, how do you feel? So don't overthink it. Just let whatever comes to mind flow onto the page. This is for you, no wrong answers. We're going to take 10 minutes to do some reflection. So the first box on the top of each of the 7 sections. Here we go.
take about one more minute. If you've kind of gone through and you want to go back and add some more just specifics to that, we're going to use this for an activity. So the more specific that you can get, the more you are going to get out of the activity. So if there's even some just little bullets you can add there, just as we're wrapping up, what could you add to some of those pop boxes in your journal? Okay, good job. What was that like? Y'all drop in the chat if there's kind of a word that comes to mind when you're doing that activity, about what you were feeling or what you were noticing, just something that kind of came up for you during that. Vulnerable, freeing, hopeful, emotional, intentional, revealing, peaceful, challenging, surprised by the joy, eye opener, clarity. I love all of these. Well, we are going to do something that if it's your first time hanging out with us on an event like this, or just kind of an event, we are going to get into some breakout rooms. So you don't have to do anything. It's not scary. We're going to kind of put y'all in some rooms. It's going to whisk you away to a group of about 7 people. So hopefully your camera's on. And we want you to answer the question that is, what is one category from the journal, one of these categories that you feel really strongly on? What is it when you're filling that out and you're thinking it through your feelings? Maybe it's an area that you feel like you've got a lot of control in. Maybe it's one where you just have your habits and your routines locked in. Maybe it's just one that's always felt easy to you. Which one was that? And will you share? And if there's kind of even just a little one-liner or something that comes to mind on why it's going well, will you share that with your group? Sometimes when you're on something like this, it's not anything. Melissa, well, this isn't a training event. It's just a time for you to be able to pour in. You're just a guy. We're just facilitating the goodness here. But hopefully something comes up in one of these, that one of those little nuggets that could just mean something to you, because we all have strengths in different areas. And so that could be something, just a small nugget that creates a big impact in the next year. So again, the question is just, which one of these categories do you feel strongly in? And is there just something that you think is making that go well for you? So Melissa's going to do her magic and push us into the breakout rooms. Just sit back and it'll happen. Oh, Melissa,
here we go. Here we go.
Melissa,
welcome back. How was that? So we would love to take a second and just hear from you guys in the chat. What did you guys enjoy about the breakout rooms? Was that anyone's first time to be in a breakout room? Hopefully that was just an awesome time to connect with some amazing women, and you were able to really reflect on where you are and celebrate some of the wins in the room, because some of us are feeling really confident in certain areas, and we just wanted to highlight that and give you time to highlight that. And so now's the time where we're going to shift gears and we are going to start visualizing into what's next. And visualization is such a powerful tool, but we know for so many people, you guys, even high performers, that it can be challenging to know how to visualize. And so sometimes what happens is we just get busy doing the things that we forget what it is that we're working toward in our lives. And so here's what we're going to do. We are going to, in our journal, we're going to fill out that second question from each section again. So we're gonna go into each of the 7 sections. You're looking in the left-hand column, and you're gonna look at the first question in the left-hand column, and we're gonna take 10 minutes to fill that out from each section. And these prompts are designed to help you describe what your dream life looks like in each of these areas. So I want you guys to think of this as creating the blueprint for your future self. So take your time with these questions, be specific, detailed, let it flow, and then it's going to make our next step, which you guys are going to love. It's gonna make it so much more powerful. So really spend some time here. We're gonna give you guys 10 minutes and then we'll jump into our next activity.
We have about 2.5 minutes left. If you get through that first question and you want to start kind of going through some of the other questions in the journal, that's perfect. We're not going to have some allocated time for other sections of the journal. So that will be helpful in our next activity. So if you get some extra time, you can go through those other questions. Okay. So hopefully that is bringing more and more clarity. You're kind of getting the time to think through this. I love that we jump on here and do this live. I had a friend be like, is this like a pre-recorded thing? And I was like, oh, no, it's live because if you don't have the time set aside without your laundry machine going off or your people coming in or just think, oh, I'm going to do this later. And then you don't. So I'm proud of y'all for jumping on here and doing this. It really is such hope you're seeing too. Like this is actually something that is can be so. The word that's coming fun is dear, like dear to you over the next year. And last year when we were working on kind of a podcast for this event, we were talking about the difference between goals and vision. And we talk a lot in network marketing about vision casting. And then you start seeing how there's opportunities to vision cast to your kids. But what's kind of the difference between goals and vision? And vision, when you think about creating vision and these dreams for your life, that's the big picture. That's where you're thinking about your overall why, your purpose, even like a legacy that you want to be kind of known for. What's just the most sacred to you and why? And they are going to be probably, deeply personal. Maybe it kind of brings up some emotions, vulnerability. And it really, when you dial into that and you get really honest, it really will inspire you to move. And then goals are those actionable, specific, practical steps that kind of show you you're on the right track. And they're the milestones along the way. So goals are the work, the effort, even the sacrifice that really start to allow that vision to come to life. And what I found is that when I am trying to kind of create just the clearest vision, the more specific that I get about my vision and why it matters to me, that is what brings energy for me. It starts to open up new capacity for the sacrifice of the effort that it's going to take to achieve these goals. They're going to get me there. And so maybe when you're kind of looking through this, maybe you had a financial goal and you start thinking about saving or paying off debt. And maybe you're thinking about just the peace that it's going to bring to your family. Maybe maybe y'all have budget meetings in your house and you can kind of picture where you sit in your house or what it feels like in your house when you start to have one of those budget meetings, okay? And you think, I don't want to feel like this going into a budget conversation anymore. Or maybe you think this is actually how I do want to feel. And I want to feel like there's margin. We're having conversations about budget that there is that it's full of options and opportunities and it's exciting and it brings energy. What if we did this? Or what if we gave to this? Or what if we supported that? And you want that feeling. It doesn't have to just be maybe I think it can be it's typically for me, it's the best if I have a feeling I don't want to feel and a feeling I do want to feel. And squished in between is what creates the energy for me to want to do the things. But I know one thing I noticed when I was doing this last year was just how intertwined so many of these categories were. And I remember one thing that came up when I was kind of preparing for this last year was I read in a book, it was talking about how years ago when computers were coming out, that there were these kind of predictions or projections that hobbies and recreation and things like that we were going to see a surge of that because the internet was going to make, we could all work smarter, not harder. And instead, especially in the West, here in America, that's not what happened. Hobbies went down. Lots of kind of those marginal, leisurely activities that really are what fuel our creativity and our enjoyment and delight in life. Those went down and work went up. And so I love that that's a section that we're talking about in here because those can really add so much beauty to your life. And is there just one thing that you could add to your life? Maybe it's painting or doing, like something in your home. Maybe you want to learn to play an instrument. Maybe you want to start doing pickleball or something like that. Is there something that you could add into your life that would add a layer of enjoyment? And so I remember I love doing like a pick a word activity. And a couple of years ago, or I don't know, it's like 6 or 7 years ago, my word for the year was available. And I think about that when I'm doing this activity because I had gotten so busy with work and goals and all these things that I wasn't available if someone wanted to do kind of a spontaneous lunch, or it was such an inconvenience if my kids needed me to bring something to the school. And so every month that year, I started writing available on the top of my planner because I jokingly say I only have time for a few friends, because when you're really in it with your people, which I want to be really in it with my people, people got stuff, right? And so I want to be available to be in it with my people. And so margin became so important to me. And so I love that when I'm going through this, some things like that start to surface. Not just what do I want to, how much weight do I want to lose? How much money do I want to save? Many goals do I want to hit? But really looking at what is my dream life? What is my dream day going to be? And when I do this activity that we're going to do here in just a second, it surprised me how basic the day was. It's not about going to the Amalfi Coast or taking a yacht trip, which is fabulous, like all the fun things, right? But it's really, what does my life feel like when I have these things worked out? And so we're going to use ChatGPT for an activity. If you're not familiar with ChatGPT, you can just jump on your Safari or Chrome or your internet browser and go to chatgpt.com, and it'll just have a chat box, or you may have the app. And so using ChatGPT, I'm going to put this in the actual, Melissa just put the address, the question box here. Here we go. You're going to put this prompt into ChatGPT, okay? Using ChatGPT or your favorite AI tool, you're going to input this prompt. Tell me a story of a day in my life based on these journal questions, okay? So what you're going to do is take these 2 questions that we've taken the time, the top box that we worked on. If you kind of came late, we've done the very first, that big box, and then that top left column, like Melissa talked about. And we want you to, whether you type it, now you can, take pictures and just upload those in there. And so tell me a story of a day in my life based on these journal questions, and make sure, again, if it brought up a feeling or something mattered most, maybe something's coming to mind that you didn't input here, don't leave that out. So, it is so simple to use. It's going to be putting a question there, just like you put a question here in the chat box or something like that. And if you're not into that, then just use this time to fill out some more sections of your journal and kind of start to pull out, or maybe you highlight, you star. These are the things from this section that are the most important to me. And so this isn't going to be a list of goals or anything right now. This is instead, you're kind of thinking about, like Melissa, let's talk about our future self, kind of thinking about that future self, who you're becoming, what you want life to feel like. And so again, whether you voice text the chat GPT, or you take the pictures, or you write some of the highlights, however you do that, what would a day in my life look like, what would a day in my life look like if I started to have these things coming into action. So we're going to do a 12-minute timer here, because this can kind of take some, and this is really good. This is really good. Don't skip this part. Actually, we're going to do 10 minutes here. We're going to do 10. Oh, 7. Melissa says 7. less than a minute. All the other times I turned off the timer before it got through. So yay, that was very cinematic. Okay. Well, I hope that y'all just tell me. I'm seeing people say things in the chat, just even the crying emojis or deeply moving and impactful, crying reading it. Yes, like it. I agree. I kept mine where I was looking at it all the time. It's just it's deeply personal, and you can read, you could add to it. You could do the same, activity again when you answer all the questions in here. Hopefully that's encouraging and motivating for you to want to even get more specific. And so what we're going to do right now is just to share a little bit, get in the breakout room and just take a minute or two to just share what did that bring up for you? What did that mean for you? To be able to kind of see it in that format, which is just so sweet and special. So Melissa put us into some breakout rooms. We're actually going to spend 12 minutes in there. So feel free to kind of elaborate on what it meant to you to be able to see that. So we'll see y'all back here in a few minutes.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Okay, tell me in the chat, what did that feel like? How did you feel when you were talking about your dream day? I totally did this exercise. I got teary-eyed reading mine. I want to hear breath of fresh air. You feel proud, not because everything is perfect, but because you're living intentionally. Your day felt peaceful, validated. Hopefully it felt like this was doable. You had a lot of clarity. I love seeing that. I love seeing that. Okay, what we want to do now is we want to help you not only just feel it, we want to help you create it and actually believe that it's possible. And so we want to get practical with you guys so that you can start taking the action steps so that you can begin to achieve that life that you just visualized and talked about. And so I'm gonna put another prompt in the chat and we're gonna go back to ChatGPT. And what we're gonna do is we want to ask Chat the question, create a daily schedule for me to follow that will allow me to achieve the life that I just described. So I'm dropping that in the chat. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. Perfect. This is going to give you guys a schedule. And if it doesn't give you a schedule, tell it to. Ask it, what are some habits? What are some routines that I can put into place? You can tell it how many hours you want to work a week. Say, I want to give X amount of time to my business. You might say something that I did for years when I was in full momentum, you guys, was I did not work on Fridays. Willie and I had a date day because I was full force Monday through Thursday. And on Fridays, our kids were in school and we were just focused on us. And so work with it, go back and forth, figure out what are those habits and routines, and let's see if we can get that schedule created. So we're gonna give you guys 5 minutes to work with Chat so you guys can see a practical schedule so that you can achieve your goals. Okay, we have about a minute and a half. And if you finish that activity, then you guys can dive into another part of your journal and continue working through one of the prompts in the next minute and a half here. All right, friends, as we are wrapping up, we're not done yet, but as we are, this is my challenge to you. I want to see you guys finishing your journal in the next 48 hours. But a tip that I have is to start with the path of least resistance. So when we got into that first breakout room and you felt really strong in a certain area, you felt really great about it, start in that category. You don't have to do the categories in the order that they're in, but my challenge for you is have the whole thing done in the next 48 hours, but as soon as we're done here, I want you to take the one and I want you to let it flow and complete that so that you can get into that rhythm, so that you can get into that flow. Because what I don't want for you guys is to start the new year and for you guys to have a half of a dream life visualization journal filled out. But I just want to say, you guys, y'all have taken some really, really powerful steps today, reflecting on where you currently are, visualizing your dream life, like working with ChatGPT to create an idea of a daily schedule that can help you get there. And once you dive more in the journal into your goals, you can even refine that a little bit more. But I want you guys to just be inspired and excited knowing that this really is just the beginning. So make sure that you guys dive into all of the prompts. They're very, very intentional. They're there to help you dig deeper and dream bigger and create even a clearer roadmap for 2026. So my challenge for you, 48 hours. And I want to know when you're done, when you guys have it done, like I said at the beginning, tag us over on the Ambition Coalition. And what I want to do right now is I want to hear from a few of you. Who is willing to be really, really brave and unmute and just share what did today mean to you? What stood out to you? What is maybe one insight or action step that you're taking away from our time together? Who wants to share?
I'll share.
Oh, go ahead.
So my name's Samantha, and I really, really enjoyed this activity and will definitely be finishing it through. Going through ChatGPT and just seeing like what that life actually looks like in the day of, and not perfect. I have toddlers, life's messy, but it's like cool to see a structure of like what the day could look like and how to manage that to like feel more comfortable and relaxed. And it was good to see the growth of what the year was and seeing more positive than negatives, because I've focused so hard on a lot of things, and like being able to set up this next year to be a positive one too. So thank you guys for doing this.
I love that, Samantha. Thank you for sharing. I feel like it's such a good reminder that our dreams, our dream day is worth prioritizing. And that hopefully this showed you that you are capable of creating a life that you truly love, even in the chaos of toddlers and the hecticness of life as it is. So good. Who else?
So I was just going to share really quickly. My name is Chandra, and I've never done an activity quite like this. So I loved it, and I loved the breakout sessions. But I think the biggest thing was like she was just saying, putting it into GPT and having it help me summarize everything and create like that visual of what I'm wanting for my life and for my family. And then to be able to put it, I'm going to tweak it even more with Chat GPT to make it into kind of like a block schedule, because I really think I need to bite the bullet and do that.
You do. Anyone out there that's resisting, I'm just telling you, anyone out there that is resisting that. And again, you hold it loosely because life is crazy and hectic and you're going to get pulled and you want to be available. I love that Rebecca called that out. But yes, I love that. If you have goals that you're working towards, you have a life that you truly are visualizing that you want to move toward, then I challenge all of us to see how can we commit to more of a consistent schedule in this new year. So good, Chandra. Thank you. Someone else want to share before I turn it over to Rebecca?
I can share. I think I start most of my days now with a feeling of panic, which really freezes me up from doing things. Mm-hmm. But reading these stories and mindset just helps me I feel calm when I read them. And I'm like, yes, that's how I want to start my days instead of panicked and frozen. Anyway, that's all.
You're making me teary-eyed because I got that same sense from mine when I did it. It was just that peace that our heart just longs for and craves in our day to day. So, and I see a lot of heads nodding. So you're not alone, Stacy. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it. You guys, this journal, if you let it can really be a companion for the journey that you're on in this next year. And again, reminder that your dream day in life is worth prioritizing. So we're so excited. I'm so excited to have been a part of this with you guys today. Rebecca.
So good. So good. Yeah, I usually plan out my whole week on Sundays, and I would read this on Sundays. I just keep it in the back of my planner, and it's just such a good reminder. And then use that, y'all. I literally use ChatGPT every day, and I say, here's all the things that I need to do today. I'm working out at this time. I need to start cooking dinner at this time. This is what I'm making. Yada, yada. Help me plan my day. To be the most productive, because otherwise I'm a little squirrel. And so I just think these things can be so helpful. And Stacy, I'm so glad you shared that, because that's just being so real. We're carrying this, everything that's on that journal. These are like all priorities, right? And so to have so many things, and we're trying to keep our homes and then trying to do it peacefully, it's a lot. So I hope y'all are leaving here not feeling like you have more to do, but just seeing where the priorities can be. And if you just start to do a couple of these things consistently, I've seen this meme or quote or whatever on Instagram so many times the last couple of weeks, like when you start making them a priority every day for 2026, they're not going to be on your to-do list and, I've got to change this for 2027, because it's just who you are. You're just going to be doing these things, and you can't imagine not doing them. And that's going to feel that's the kind of thing that takes panic and anxiety off of me. It's just like, okay, I've got this. This is just part of who I am. So I just encourage y'all in that. Tomorrow, I'm actually going to put there, if you're not getting our emails, because tomorrow we're going to have an email that just, if you were on here and you downloaded the journal, that has a link to this recording. If you want to go back and do any of it, another journal, it'll have the journal there if you needed another copy of that. It's going to have the YouTube playlist that we've been listening to. Some of y'all have asked about that while we've been on here. Last year, we did the same playlist and people loved it so much. So we'll link that on there. And then also those ChatGPT questions, so that if you just needed a reminder on what did we put in there, those will be in there. If you're not getting our emails, you didn't get the journal email, all those things. If you did, click a star. Even me getting our emails and opening them all the time, sometimes they'll go to my promotional folder or something. So if you want to make sure you're getting our emails, we have kind of a podcast link that'll come out every week and a recap, little training things. Melissa every Sunday puts an email out that's kind of like, this is what's working in my business right now. This is what's going on my team, or here's just some kind of personal insights, kind of a behind the scenes. And so they're really great emails that you probably don't want to miss. And so if you haven't been getting those, there's a link that I just put in the chat where you won't miss any email. So anyway, we're proud of y'all. We love a coalition means that you are a group of people that are working toward a specific goal. And so we have the Ambition Coalition here, where we don't apologize for being ambitious or for wanting a life of excellence and purpose. And so there's something about being around other women that it lifts you up to also be moving forward with other people that are being vulnerable, like Stacy, that are encouraging, that are hopeful, that are inspiring, and that are moving forward. And so we just say thank you for joining here, because it's all of us together that just make it all so much better. So thanks for joining us. I hope that you will take Melissa's challenge in the next 48 hours. You will finish your journal, print off the things that we did today so that you have those and you can, or maybe you put them on a voice loop where you can listen to that day and say, just like Melissa said, it's not selfish, or it's real life that you're working towards, and it's worth prioritizing. So we're thinking of y'all, cheering y'all on. And we'll see you in 2026. Bye, guys.